Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Marnell Sample here with you again. And today what we're going to talk about is how to sing Get You by Daniel Caesar. We're going to talk about some of the technical components of this song as well as a lot of the musical and phrasing components of the song. And actually we're going to focus on that a little bit more. So with that said, let's get started. So this is a really great song by Daniel Caesar. I really enjoy it. It has a nice, really chill, laid back vibe that's just really mellow, and it's just a great jam to, just chill out to. In order to sing this song, some of the technical requirements are you need to be able to sing in falsetto. He only goes as high as the high B, so a B4, and he taps a C sharp 5, so a tenor high C sharp at one point in time in one of the ad libs at the end of the song. That note's kind of optional, but you basically need to be able to do up to the high B in falsetto. The thing about falsetto in this song that's tricky is you need to be able to go down in falsetto, down to a C sharp 4, so C sharp right above middle C. And that might take some work, especially for the male singers. If you're singing this, if you're not used to taking your falsetto down low, you're going to have to practice that. With that said, since this goes up to the C sharp 5 in falsetto, I would say you really want to be able to have a D5 or even a D sharp 5 in falsetto, just to give yourself a little bit of buffer room. Okay? You never want to sing to the limits of your range. All right? The other thing you need is full voice. So in this song, the full voice range covers C sharp below middle C, so C sharp 3, and it goes up to F sharp above middle C, so F sharp 4. That's the full voice range. Most of the time, he's not hanging out close to that low C sharp that much. He's mostly staying around the F sharp 3 and then going up to like D4 and like kind of hanging in that range. That's where most of the song tends to sit. So once again, with that said, that's the range of the song, but you as a singer, you should be able to vocalize at least a couple notes higher than that. So at least up to the G sharp 4 and have a couple extra notes on the bottom end too. So you should be able to vocalize down to the B2. Just to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room so you feel comfortable. You never, ever, ever want to sing a song that's going literally to the limits of your range. That's a recipe for a headache. Okay? So you also need to be able to make your voice flip and yodel a lot, because he has some effects in the song where he's going back and forth between full voice and falsetto in the same breath. So you need to be proficient at that too. So this is how all of those sound. So with your falsetto, if I start here, you need to be able to go down like this. If you can't do that, then you're going to have problems. Okay? It should be a non-breathy falsetto. You don't want an airy falsetto. You don't want where you're just pushing air out like that. That's no good. You have to get used to holding back the air. You want pure sound coming out. You want to sound like a sine wave. If you've never practiced that, then that means you got work to do. Okay? As far as the full voice stuff, you should be able to do scales like this, no problem. Like going So you should be able to do all of that and just on a vowel, and that should be comfortable for you. And if you can't do that, then you're going to need to work on that first and troubleshoot that and figure out what you have going on there that's preventing you from doing that. So the other thing I mentioned were the yodels. So we have things like You should be able to go ah oh, I'm sorry, ah 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 ah, and here where you have this very discernible flip, this intentional flip from chest voice, falsetto, chest voice, you should be able to do that going back and forth. That should be like nothing for you, okay? If you don't have the technical control to be able to do that, then you need to work on that first before really trying to get into this song. So, how do you go about tackling this song? If you have those technical requirements in place, the first thing you do is you go through the song and you sing it on just a vowel, okay? To make sure, just to get a sense of how does it feel sitting in my voice and so on and so forth. And just to get all of that to feel comfortable and so you find your groove into the song, so to speak. One thing that I forgot to mention, since there is a female part in this song, if you're a male singer and you're singing this to a karaoke track and that karaoke track does not have the female vocal in it for you, then you need to figure out what you're going to do for that part of the song. Now, when Daniel sings this live and he's by himself, he normally either tends to sing that part down an octave or he improvises a different little melody that still sits within that same full voice range that I had mentioned earlier. So as a result of that, I'm going to play a little bit of the recording that he did on BBC Radio because that was a really good performance that he did, and it kind of shows how he approached that part of the song. But what we're going to do first is we're going to go, I'm just going to show you how I do this as an example, going through the song, just the melody of a song on a vowel done legato. So watch how this works. Let's see what we have here. You can change vowels. Oh, 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 change the vowels even for that and do it on E or something. And then even for this part here, coming up with them. And like that, you'll just go through the song like that. Just singing it on, you would just normally do one vowel at a time, but you do need to sing it on a vowel to get used to how that feels. Because when you sing it on a vowel, it kind of highlights certain technical aspects for you that could be going wrong, where you have little areas of lack of coordination occurring in the voice. It can be sometimes you're not modifying your vowels correctly, which we're going to talk about a little bit. There are specific lines I'm going to mention, especially in the second verse for that. It could be an area where maybe you're just singing too softly, or maybe you're singing too loudly for your voice or whatever. But you do that first. Once you can do that, then you go and you try to sing it with the words. okay? Keeping the words kind of in that same position that you have the vowels in. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to highlight some stylistic elements that he does. So I'll sing a little bit with the words and then I'll get into those stylistic things. So I'm going to do through this one more time. Hopefully I can hear this. Through drought and famine, natural disasters, my baby has been around for me. Kingdoms have fallen, angels be calling. None of that could ever make me leave. Every time I look into your eyes, I see it. You're all I need. Every time I get a bit inside, I feel it. And 1 second. So you go through it like that just to make sure everything's still kind of positioned very similar to how it was when you did it with the vowels. So you have this and the words go in the same place. Every time I look into your eyes, I see it. And you just want to make sure it's all the same way, that nothing's all of a sudden, just because you're doing the words, and then you're like, every time I look at that, you're not going and doing something like that all of a sudden. Okay. So, all right. A few stylistic things. So when it comes to style, the main things that you want to listen for are pitch, rhythm or timing, and dynamics, meaning when does it go softer and louder, relatively speaking. And Daniel Caesar does a lot of interesting things in those three regards in terms of this song. And I would say the two big ones that add to the laid back, chill vibe of this song are, number one, he doesn't sing all the way on the pitch. Like, he tends to like kind of slide into the pitch. There are a lot of pitch bends that he does, and sometimes he goes slightly flat of the pitch because it adds to this kind of laid back vibe in the song. But also when it comes to rhythm, he tends to sing behind the beat, okay? That's another thing that gives this kind of laid back vibe. Like, he's not singing directly on the beat. He's not going, if I sing it directly on the beat and more with the pitches going all the way in tune, it would be like, through drought and famine, natural disasters, my baby has been around for me. But if I sing it a little bit behind the beat with a little bit of those pitch bends, through drought and famine, natural disasters, my baby has been around for me. You see how I'm kind of like not all the way on the pitch, and also at the same time I'm like kind of dragging behind the beat a little bit? When you do that with music, with the instrumental behind you, it gives it like this really kind of laid back, kind of chill vibe, and that's what's making the style of this song. The whole song is built around those two aspects. Now, the third aspect that I want to emphasize is dynamics. This is a really, really, really big part of phrasing, and it's what I was talking about in a couple of my other clips. Recently, when I've been talking about musicianship and phrasing, this is following along in that same theme. You have to go louder and softer in phrases. Every word is not done at the exact same volume. There's this constant interplay, this constant push and pull in terms of volume. So listen to this first line. Daniel doesn't do it as much in this particular live performance. It's still in there, but I'm going to exaggerate it for you more and emphasize it more so you hear it more clearly. So give me 1 second while I find this again. So even that first line, through drought and famine, you hear it as da 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 da. It's not just through drought and famine, where everything's the same volume. You don't give any kind of musical accents. That doesn't propel the song along, and it doesn't really bring out the musical quality in what you're doing. So it's through drought and famine, natural disasters. So natural, so louder, then back off. Natural disasters. So on disasters, you normally tend to follow the cadence, the stress patterns of how you would normally speak a word. So through drought and famine, through drought and famine. What's being emphasized there? Drought, and then of the word famine. Natural disasters. So the both of those as are getting emphasized there. So you want to give those a little stronger musical emphasis, a little more volume. My baby has been around for me. So my baby has been around for me. And even when, especially when you hold out a sustained note like that, there's me. You can't just hold it flat. You can't just go me. It's not moving anywhere in terms of dynamics, okay? It needs to have some change in volume as you hold it out. So listen. My baby has been around for me. See how I go a little bit louder and then I back off, a little bit louder and then I back off. That's what you have to do throughout the whole song, okay? So I'm going to highlight a few more lines like that so you get more of the idea. Natural disasters. My baby has been around for me. Kingdoms have fallen, angels be calling. I like that line. Angels be calling. So notice what I did there with the volume. Angels be calling. So it goes louder and then you back off as you go down on the run. Calling. And that brings life to the music. Now, with that said, another thing that you should do when practicing any song is you should always have multiple ways that you can go about singing a phrase. More than one way. If you only ever have one way of singing a phrase, you are in danger. You have a big problem. You should explore different ways of approaching it. The most basic way of approaching a phrase is just having 3 different volume levels that you can sing it at. So sing it at a soft volume level, sing it at a medium volume level, and sing it at a loud volume level. I've basically already been singing through this song at medium volume level. I'll show you what happens if I sing it softer. So if I go through drought and famine, natural disasters, my baby has been around for me. Kingdoms have fallen. Sorry, I lost the words there. Angels be calling. None of that could ever make me leave. So that's if I'm just singing it really, really, really softly. But the thing is, when you sing it softly like that, you still have to make sure you articulate and enunciate very clearly. Don't mumble just because you're singing softer. Don't go, kingdoms have fallen. Angels be called. Don't mumble just because it's soft. Kingdoms have fallen. Angels be calling. Still articulate clearly, okay? Now, if I did it at a louder volume, it would sound like this. It's going to change the character of the song if I do it at a louder volume, but I'll tell you why in a moment. So, Through drought and famine, natural disasters, my baby has been around for me. Kingdoms have fallen, angels be calling, none of that could ever make me leave. Every time I look into your eyes, I see it. You're all I need. So something like that. And when you do it at that louder volume level, like I said, it takes away from some of the laid back vibe of the song, but you still want that option open to you because you want music to be an in the moment expression. And you can't predict how you're going to feel in any particular moment once you get ready to sing the song. One time you sing it, you might be feeling like, just kind of laid back. And the next time you sing it, you might be feeling a little bit more excited just for whatever reason. And that excitement makes you start singing louder. And if you haven't kind of practiced the song at that louder volume level, just to know where that sits for you and how to coordinate that for your voice, then you're going to get thrown off. So that's why you always want to have these options open to you. Also, if you're performing this with a live band, it could be a chance that you're going to have trouble hearing yourself. And if you hear that start happening, you're just going to start singing louder. So again, you have to be prepared for, you just don't know what's going to happen. Okay. So that's that. Now, the thing that I wanted to talk about, let's go to the chorus just so you can see how that sounds, how to approach that. Where is it? I lost the song. Where is it? None of that could ever see it. You're all I need. Every time I get it inside, I feel. So let's pay attention to this falsetto part. Don't go airy. Keep the breathness. Who would have thought I'd get you? And notice how I keep this. Ooh. I don't go. Ooh. Who would have thought I'd get you? That's how you want to keep it. This very hollow, hooty sound. And in the original recording, he does it all in one breath. So it will be good just as a practice thing, just to keep your options open to practice doing it in one breath. Ooh, who would have thought I'd get you? And you should be able to do that. And then, if you want to, for an interpretation reason, to break it up sometimes or sometimes do it together, then you have that option available to you. Okay? Now let's talk about this second verse, because there's some technique things that are going on here that you need to watch out for. I love that note, that you, when he goes, I love the way that harmonizes with the chord. That's really nice. Okay, this line right here. If you sing that line and you go, and when we're making love, and you try to sing it like that, you're going to struggle. That's not how you sing it. That's the wrong vowel. You don't go, meh. You don't do it like that. Listen to the vowel. And when we're making love. So it's like, A, A. It's almost like somewhere between A and E. Okay? A. Because this is going to be, if you're a guy, this is going to be in your bridge range. And you can sing an open vowel here, but it's going to make it harder for you. So if you go, hey, and when we're making love, and that's the wrong quality for this song anyway. It'll work in another context, but not here. So, and when we're making love, that's how you want to approach it. Now this next line, this, your cries, they can be heard from far and wide. when you sing that line, he goes and does that in falsetto. In my opinion, from the standpoint of how the song builds up musically and also what the lyrics are saying, it makes more sense to do it in full voice because you just came out of this first verse and out of the chorus, and now you're coming into the second verse, and the song has built up some intensity, and he's like, and when we're making love, and then to go, your cry, it kind of lets off some of that musical intensity, and that doesn't sound like the sound of someone crying. Like, I would do, your cries, they can be heard from far and wide, and it's the two of us. And I would still keep that. Everything I need's between those thighs. I would do it like that because to me that keeps the musical intensity and you started showing a more sensual side in the beginning of the song, and now the way he started off that second verse, you want to show a little bit more of an assertive, dominant side, and like going to falsetto for all those parts, it kind of throws off that feeling for me a little bit. But this is just my personal interpretation of the song. You may hear it differently. Once again, you want to have options open for yourself. So practice it both ways. Practice it falsetto and also full voice. Now, if you're going to do it full voice, you have to watch your vowels. So you can't go, what are the words there? Your cries. You can't go, your cry. If you try to sing that cries like that, you're not going to make it. Cries here has to modify, and it goes more towards like a croys, like almost like that vowel, as in the word crook, almost in that direction. So your cries, they can be heard. So it's like cries can be heard, not cries can be, not like that. That will not work this high in your range. And the same thing for this. You don't go, you don't do the every like that. That will not help you. It needs to be everything I need. So it's like everything, almost like is in the word gift or kid. Everything. Everything. That's how you have to think of it in your head. Everything I need between those thighs. So if you sing the phrase that way, then you'll get through it. Going everything, you'll strain here so much. Okay? Let me see. Is there anything else in this song that we need to talk about? So we have the female part, and I think that's basically it. You just want to keep listening out for all of these musical elements and just practice it the way that I mentioned. So let's sing a little bit more of this part where he does the female part. Oh, I remember. There is one more thing. This line, every time I look into your eyes, I see it. When you sing that line, there are a few ways you can approach that. One, you can flip and go into falsetto. These are the yodels that I was talking about. So like this. Every time I look into your eyes, I see it. That's one way of approaching it. You can also do it another way and keep it all full voice. Every time I look into your eyes, I see it. And notice how when I keep it in full voice, I'm giving this crescendo. When I go, eyes, eyes. So the note goes somewhere. It's not just every time I look into your eyes, where it's just flat musically. Not flat in terms of pitch, but it's not going anywhere from a musical standpoint. That's another way of approaching it. There's a third way you can do it, which is more like every time if you sing it softer, that works a little bit better with the flip approach. So Every time I look into your eyes, I see it. You're all I need. Every time I get a bit inside, you see how I do this? Like, I do actually go breathy there for that one. You can do it that way, and if you listen to Daniel and his live performances, he does it both ways. The first time it comes up, the first pre-chorus, he does it more the airy, yodeling kind of way. The second time it comes up later in the song, he keeps it more full voice. Okay? So you always want to have options available to you when you sing a song. Always, always, always. That's part of studying a song. Okay? So I hope that was helpful. Leave some feedback in the comments section and let me know what you found helpful from this video and what you would like to see more of. Okay? Talk to you all later. Bye.